Welcome to the Mind Body Business Podcast. I'm your host, Jane Bellante. And this show is about what happens when you stop separating your life, your work, and your well-being and start leading all of it from truth. Each episode will explore the connection between your thoughts, your body, and your business so you can create a life and success that actually feels good. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Mind Body Business Podcast. I am your host, Jane Bellante. I am in Maui this week, so I'm not live with you, but if you are watching this episode, you are seeing me sitting in my bedroom in our apartment. Still don't have much on the walls, and I am in here because my in-laws are here from Wisconsin, and they're all watching the football game in the other room. So I am trying to make this as quiet as possible. But if you hear screaming and yelling, or perhaps even some swearing in the background, I promise I tried to make this. I tried to make this as soundproof as possible. So I am really grateful that you are here with me because this week's episode is about awareness and how what you bring to your journey determines what kind of path you walk. So you can walk through the same landscape, you know, literally and figuratively, and have completely different experiences depending on what you're carrying with you or what you're bringing with you. You could be bringing fear, you could be bringing resistance, or you could be bringing curiosity or openness. And that's what shapes whether your path feels like suffering or if it feels like wisdom or bliss or even loss. And this weekend, I actually hiked Hoapili Trail, and that's the lava trail here on Maui. It's in like a lava field. And if you are watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, you will see the footage from there. It's literally all rocks. And then this morning, I actually hiked Twin Falls, which actually really wasn't a hike. It was really small. It's more of just like a destination where you could walk around and see waterfalls, which was beautiful. And the two places couldn't be more opposite. The lava trail was super hot. It was blazing, brutally hot, very rough, all rocks. You're walking on all rocks. I couldn't even look around. Like if I wanted to look around, you had to stop, right? Because had to look and see each footstep. Otherwise, you could easily roll an ankle. So hot and rough and dry and wide open, except for some inner paths to get through. And inside of those paths, a whole bunch of goats, like literally goats all over the place, like right near you. And Twin Falls, really soft, lush, jungly, two totally different energies, but both really showed me the same thing. And that is that awareness is everything, because awareness isn't just noticing, it's literally the filter through which everything is experienced by you. It decides what you pay attention to, what you miss, what you take personally, and what you let yourself release. So when your awareness is high, you're actually tuned in, right? You notice the subtle shifts, the patterns, and the feedback your body's giving you. And when your awareness is low and the only thing you're aware of is like what's inside your head, everything starts to feel like noise. And that's when anxiety begins. So today we're going to talk about what awareness looks like in real life. And so let's begin. I want to talk about that lava trail a little bit more. So Ho'opili is the name of the trail. And again, it was blazing hot. If it wasn't, it was super, super windy. And I had to cinch my hat to my chin. Otherwise, it'd just fly right off. So if it wasn't for the wind, I don't even know if I would have made it. So it does force you to pay attention. Like I said, I had to watch every footstep because you could roll an ankle. And in fact, a guy fell and like cut his leg. And so you have to pay attention. And There's not much shade, just a little bit. And in the shade were all of these goats. And I knew and I had heard that there were goats there, but I did not realize that they were going to be like right next to us. And the second I saw the first one, like my husband, Mike, he stopped and he was like his body tensed up. And I looked up and instantly my body was like, nope. And that instinct to like turn around and like, I'm out of here kind of a thing kicked in. And it's not that like anything was wrong. It was just super unfamiliar, right? Like I'm not used to hiking with a bunch of wild goats all over the place, right? I mean, I live in Wisconsin. I see deer and squirrels, maybe some chipmunks, right? But that is what awareness is. It's catching that split second where your body reacts and it's asking, wait, is this actually unsafe or am I just uncomfortable? And I was uncomfortable. It was not a normal experience for me. But most of us don't stop long enough to even ask that. We just go straight into avoidance and we distract ourselves. Like how many times during the day do you start feeling anxiety and then you just pick up your phone to distract yourself from that, right? But if you actually can let yourself step into awareness, that gives you a moment of choice. You can still turn back if you need to, but at least you're choosing from presence and not panic. And that's literally what defines our path. We can walk with fear or with awareness, and those are two completely different experiences. And when you pay attention to your own reactions, that tightening in your chest, and I feel it, I felt it when I saw those goats, and I felt it when I started to get, like, really, really hot on the trail, like, those thoughts that just say, "This is too much, I can't handle this, I can't do this." That's when you pay attention to that reaction, you start to see the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is automatic, and response, it's conscious. You make the choice, right? Reaction is like fight or flight, running from the saber-toothed tiger. Response is like, I get to choose. And that's the space. The space between those two things is actually awareness. So when I was on that trail, I was like thinking about like how we let the noise of especially social media, but just everything, like all of the TV we watch, the news that we listen to, read, see, we let all of that lead us instead of nature. And most of us spend more time reacting to our phones than noticing what is right in front of us. And that constant strolling, scrolling, that hamster wheel, it actually keeps you locked in this loop of just pure distraction. And nature doesn't move like that, right? It has its own rhythm. And when you actually allow yourself to slow down enough to match that rhythm, awareness just happens. And we don't even have to try either, right? It's something that our body just naturally returns to once we stop forcing it to keep up with everything that's artificial, everything that's made up, everything that is not real. And in that space, our creativity actually comes back. We allow ourselves to be in that flow because we can't hear or feel or create new ideas when we are reacting to everything around us all the time, especially right now. We are living in this world with, so much opposition. Our government, if you're listening and you're in America, our government is actually shut down right now, right? Everybody is reacting and living in fear. And how can we hear new ideas when we're constantly scrolling, constantly reading people's comments, constantly, looking for more distraction? We have got to step out of that noise because if we don't, then nothing original is even allowed to rise up. It's like constant stimulation, all the content, everybody else's opinions, all of the updates. It trains our awareness to stay in the external world, and your attention gets hijacked hundreds of times a day. That actual awareness is internal, and it's built from when we notice our breath, we notice the feelings in our body, and we go, "Do I want to feel like this?" And when we live outside of that awareness for so long, we start getting super confused and we start thinking that anxiety is our natural way of being. Well, this is just how I am. Oh, well, my anxiety. Oh, I'm just an anxious person. It's all of us. And letting nature lead is how we come back. And it really is about detaching from social media, detaching from the news, detaching from the noise, and just allowing ourselves to hear our own thoughts and to be quiet and look around and look at the goats, see the lizards, right? And here's what's super crazy is that we're made up of millions of atoms, right? And those atoms are actually 99.9% empty space. And that means that most of us isn't actual matter, it's space. And that's where creativity, peace, and awareness actually live. It's in the space between all of the doing, 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 doing. And when every second is filled with thought or activity, we block that natural space. So, awareness isn't a technique, it's what happens when you allow yourself to notice what's already there. And in that space, things start connecting. Ideas start showing up. You start breathing differently, right? You allow and whoa, that's cool. Whether you're standing in front of an ocean like I was, on the lava trail, or, you're in your neighborhood, there's always something new to see. And there's always some kind of, you know, beauty around us. And that's awareness. And, we live in this world that tells us that we have to hustle all the time, that we're being lazy if we just sit and we're still, that we have to produce all the time. Otherwise, we're falling behind. And that belief kills awareness because the mind can't see clearly when it's overworked. And then you're stuck in this loop, where you're just like, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, can't rest, working on the weekends, working every night. And stillness is not actually the absence of progress, it's where progress begins. It's where you integrate what you've learned, you recover your own energy that you've been leaking all the time, and you reconnect to what actually matters. You expand your capacity to see the world clearly, not just what you're shown on social media or on the news. And that clarity is actually what turns effort into effectiveness. Awareness expands in direct proportion to how you are letting yourself be still. And if you want to create more, have a better business, have a better life, if you want to think clearer, whatever it is, what you do is allow yourself more space, more space. Because we have two sides of the brain, right? We know this. We have a creative side, we have an analytical side, and awareness is what keeps those things in balance. When we're overthinking and overthinking and overthinking, we're only using the analytical side. No wonder we don't allow ourselves to create, whether that's our business, or art, or, whatever it is that we do, right? And that's where doubt and perfectionism and full on burnout live. And, I've been there numerous times. And awareness reopens our creative side. And this is the one that works from intuition and curiosity and just pure good emotion. And When you're aware, we begin to notice the moment before we fall back into all the overthinking, right? The perfectionism, the burnout. And we can choose to move with ease instead of pressure. And so this morning, actually, we went to what I thought was a hike, and the All Trails app said it was a mile and a half, and I thought, oh, this would be super quick, right? Well, it was barely a hike at all, but it was super beautiful. It was called Twin Falls, and it's just outside of Haiku here on Maui. And so, if the lava trail is really about focus and awareness in challenges, I really felt like Twin Falls was like awareness in like allowing for the flow because everything there is moving. Tons of people. I was kind of like, I don't know. I had this idea that we were going to be on this trail by ourselves, but no, there were people all over the place. But it wasn't super chaotic. It felt really balanced. And you know, awareness can feel like that when we actually integrate it into our life. We can still be moving, we can still be working and creating, but at the same time, we're not super disconnected from ourselves. And we don't have to stop our lives to have awareness. It's just about presence. And that's when creativity and our own intuition start working with us instead of against us. And so when you live like that, challenges stop feeling like walls. And I know you know what I'm saying. Like when you go to create something, when you go to, launch that membership group, to launch that online course or that in person course, or, whatever it is that you're doing, maybe you're just sitting down and trying to create on a canvas or in an art journal, those walls that we put up, right? They block us. But when we have awareness, we are able to adapt. And that's clarity in motion, really. It allows us to change direction really quick without like beating ourselves up. Oh, I'm terrible. I can't do this. Nobody's going to like me and everybody's going to think I'm dumb. And I didn't go to art school and blah, 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 blah. And, all the dumb stuff we say. We don't have to go there. You know, Awareness can look like movement that's grounded and creativity that feels alive, but we don't have to feel chaotic all over the place. And that's the sweet spot. It really is movement without feeling like frenetic. And then we have massive energy because it's coming from passion instead of hustle, hustle culture. And so that awareness, like, because if we're not aware, then we don't even realize what we're doing, right? When we're unaware, everything feels random and we are stuck in that reaction. And when we're aware, everything has context. We have choice. And that's where peace comes from. And that is not about controlling what happens. It's about staying awake to it. So I want you to understand that, awareness lives in those gaps, in that open space. And when you let yourself slow down long enough to feel it, everything else starts to line up naturally. And I really and truly would recommend that you get outside. Get outside in the natural world, step away from everything that humans have made up and look at the natural world. And whether or not you're having awareness in challenges or awareness in just flow, both awarenesses are teaching the same thing, that we want to stay present. We want to keep ourselves in that spacious gap. And we want to keep moving our body because that moves that stagnant negative energy out of us. And when we get to do that, our life starts working with us. Our business starts to grow and become exciting again. We stop comparing ourselves to everybody and we just You just do you, boo, right? Do you, boo. But then you don't feel guilty about that. You don't feel unworthy anymore. You just do what you love. And then that next step is just going to reveal itself. The pressure begins to ease, and we can just feel good in our bodies instead of feeling that constant nagging stress and anxiety. So, that is what I have for you this week. I'm not going to be live again next week because next week I will be leading my retreat with my friend Jaji in Sedona. I am hoping to take some time to have a chat with Jaji on Saturday. Our retreat starts on Sunday, so I'm hoping that we can record something and I can pop it up for you next Monday. But stay tuned and please let me know if this resonated with you. If you watched it on Facebook, if you watched it on YouTube, you can put in the comments, um, what you thought. Let me know what you thought of the footage in the background, because I know that, some of you won't get here. Some of you might get here, but you're not going to want to do that lava hike. It was tough. It was tough. I think I even put a picture in, or I'll even put a picture in of how windy it was. It was just nuts. It was nuts. So, anyways, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again next time.